This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you in part by Telex, the interconnection company, owners and operators of 56 Marietta, the most network-rich co-location facility in the Southeast. Tag TV and Tag Radio. Technology now has a voice of innovation and information. Get it on www.tagtvonline.com. The Tech Talk series on startups, entrepreneurs, and the money needed to make it all happen concludes as we explore Small Business Innovation Research, SBIR funding. That's right, SBIR, an 11 federal agency program that provides research and development funding for small high-tech firms under 500 employees to take an innovative idea and potentially turn it into a commercial product. In fact, the SBIR, through its federal relations with the STTR, the Technology Transfer Assistance Program, is a Georgia state-funded program designed for entrepreneurs to find the help they need in identifying the best way to tap into this resource. Qualified companies can receive up to $850,000 to launch an idea. Greetings, everyone. It's Tuesday, July 20th, 2009, and this is Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mantella. On the final series edition, focusing on Georgia's #1 ranking for entrepreneurial activity, we go inside SBIR, SBIR, the state-funded assistance program provided by the Commercialization Services Division of the Enterprise Innovation Institute of Georgia Tech. The no-cost service available to companies and researchers across the state is to help you tap into this unique federal funding resource. Tino speaks with SBIR Marketing Manager and SBIR Catalyst, Connie Ruffner. Connie co-founded Georgia's Cyber Assistance Program in 2005. She is responsible for marketing and promoting the federal cyber program, as well as Georgia Assistance for entrepreneurs, companies, and researchers across the state. Also serving as a cyber catalyst, Connie provides one-on-one consulting and detailed guidance for program prospects, including appropriateness, agency topic identification, proposal preparation, and commercialization. Connie began her career at Georgia Tech in 2001 in NASA's Southeast Regional Technology Transfer Center, helping to license NASA-developed technologies. Money for small business innovation research and small business technology transfer. Federal funds in search of the next great high-tech innovation in Georgia. Tino speaks with cyber executive Connie Ruffner on the what, who, and when a company or research program qualifies and how cyber is here to help.
Connie, thank you for joining me on Tech Talk.
Hello, how are you?
I am fine, and I'm glad to have you on the show today. What I would like to ask you is about SBIR. I think that's a good place to start and topic for our subject today. So tell me a little more about what SBIR is and who qualifies for it.
Sure. Well, SBIR is Small Business Innovation Research, and it is a federal program that Congress mandates that any federal agency that makes over $100 million in their research budget, they're required by Congress to set aside a portion of their budget for small businesses. This is a very advantageous program because large businesses are not competing with the small businesses to get these federal funds. Most new technologies are coming from the small companies, the innovative small companies, and so this program is appropriate for them. A company will answer a solicitation or a request for proposal from one of the agencies. They put out many RFPs or solicitations per year. And the company will write a proposal saying that they can solve one of those agencies' problems, and they will then be able to hopefully commercialize that product. And that product can then help that company, either a startup company, or it can give a new life to a company, maybe through a different product line or a parallel product line. And it's something that will enhance our economy as well, because we want to grow jobs, especially jobs here in Georgia, and this is a means to help grow the jobs. There are several different topics. Anything from the Department of Defense has many topics related to the technologies for defense and related technologies, anything from medical devices as well that can be used on the field, say for the Army. Then there are technologies for education, such as social media technologies or technologies that advance education. The National Science Foundation has many topics related to communication and IT, as well as software development. And then you have the National Institutes of Health, which is many topics related to diseases as well as medical devices, biomedical nanotechnology. If you can think of a topic, there's a topic out there. Just we help you find which topic and which agency might be the most appropriate. As you said, there are companies that are going to be the perfect company, and then there are going to be some companies that are on the edge, and we can help identify which companies would be best.
So I know you have some training programs because we've partnered with you on those, and those are intended to help people not only determine if they're eligible, but also if they are eligible to put in their grants. At one point, I had understood that Georgia was not getting its fair share of funding. So I wanted to find out from you, has that changed over the last couple years since you've been running the program? And yeah, I guess in general, do you see any trends in respect to Georgia SBIR funding?
We have increased over the past 10 years. I would say back in 1999, we had about $14 million was coming into Georgia from SBIR and STTR funding, and in 2008 we were up to $22 million. Awards can be for a phase one anywhere from $70,000 to $150,000, and phase two can be up to $750,000. So we're seeing an increase in the number of awards as well as the number of phase two awards, which means that we're helping companies with their phase one to phase two transition better. So we're getting more phase two funding into the state.
So we have a lot of entrepreneurs listening to this program, and their question is going to be, are they eligible? You covered that already to some degree, but can you, in simple terms, how many are there a lot of companies that probably are eligible that just aren't looking at this, don't know about it? What are your thoughts?
Sure. There, a lot of companies don't think that they can qualify. Maybe they haven't been in business long enough, or maybe they think that they don't have a technology that could qualify because it's big government. But the majority of companies that apply, 25% have never received SBIR or STTR funding before. So it is available for companies that have never received the SBIR funding. In a nutshell, the main qualifications are companies that are under 500 employees, with most of the companies we work with being 25, under 25, maybe even most 2 to 3 employees. And they rely a lot on subcontractors or on consultants, advisory boards to help them. But there are small companies that do receive awards. The company must be set up for profit, so there are no nonprofit companies. It doesn't mean that they're not making a profit, but they have to be set up as a nonprofit. And they have to be owned by 51% U.S. citizens or U.S. resident aliens, and they must have research that's going to be done in the United States. For our assistance, we want the research to be done and the company to be located in Georgia. And then the other main qualification is they have to have a principal investigator who has education and experience in the area that they're proposing their research. And then finally, the SBIR program does not have unsolicited proposals, so you have to monitor the solicitations or RFPs, as I mentioned earlier, and look at those for topics that could be appropriate.
So this has been a program that's been around for how many years?
It's been around for 25, 26 years now.
And there's a rumor going around, and it's more than the rumor, that there's some discussion if the program will continue or not. Can you shed some light on that?
Sure. As I mentioned earlier, this is a federal mandate that Congress mandated, and they put some stopgaps into the program, saying that the program had to be reauthorized every 8 years. And we're in the process now of coming up for time for the program to be reauthorized. And currently there is a bill that has passed in Congress, two bills that have passed in Congress, one in the House and one in the Senate, that they've passed the program. And so right now we're at the stage where we're trying to see if there's going to be a compromise of those two bills, and hopefully there will be a compromise, and then the President will sign the law into existence, and it will be reauthorized further.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear, and I guess they'll work that through with the many other things you're working through in Congress today.
Sure.
And this is a tougher economy, so from a standpoint of interest in your program, is there more interest? Basically, how's the economy affected of your program?
Sure. It's really it's brought a whole new level of interest to the program. We're seeing a lot more companies or people who maybe were at a company and through layoffs, they are looking now at maybe starting a company, or maybe it's someone who's been at a research center, maybe a postdoc, someone who's graduated with their PhD, and they are looking for employment, and they're saying, well, why don't we just start a company? Here's some funding. I have the experience and education, so I'm going to start a company. So we've seen an increase in the number of people and startup companies that are receiving the funding. Unfortunately, we've also seen a large number of companies that have said that program sounds great, we would love to do it, but we need the startup money. We need the money now to keep our business going. We need funding to keep our doors open, operating expense now, and we don't have time or resources to dedicate to writing a proposal and then waiting to see if we receive a grant or contract. But hopefully, as the economy turns, that we will see that this will be a beneficial program for startups as well as sustaining companies.
I have time for one more question. The American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009, how does SBIR tie into that?
Well, the two acts are separate acts. However, some of the money that went to the Recovery Act was funneled through some of the SBIR programs, especially with the EPA and with NSF, National Science Foundation, where they are looking at green technologies. So instead of creating a separate program, both of those agencies decided to increase the number of awards that they make for those green technologies that are invented or developed. The National Institutes of Health put out a separate solicitation where they said, any company, whether it's an SBIR company or a company that's not related, we're going to put funds in and let the companies write proposals. And those can be anywhere from $20,000 to $2 million. And those went out in the spring, and those awards have not been made yet. So we're not sure how much of those dollars are going to be coming to Georgia, but the recovery funds did allow for more awards to be made. Some of the other agencies are utilizing the funds to help extend an award. So companies who have already received, let's say, a Phase 1 or a Phase 2 award are now able to tap into more federal dollars to enhance the products that were developed through SBIR and STTR. So even though they're separate, it is a benefit. Okay,
well, you shed a lot of light on SBIR. Our listeners should, if they want to find out more information about this, how would they
Sure.
Would they contact
you? We have SBIRGA.com, and that is our one-stop shop now for SBIR assistance. It's a blog, as well as it has information about our program and our services, as well as links to search for topics. So if you go to there, there's also an inquiry button, and anyone can fill out an inquiry, and someone will contact them. And hopefully it'll be a successful program for their company as well.
Well, Connie, let's hope that SBIR is around for many years to come and that our Atlanta entrepreneurs, our Georgia entrepreneurs, take advantage of the program. So thanks for your leadership, and thanks for joining me on Tech Talk today.
Thank you, Tina.